Hi there, my name is Russ Brown and thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight we're going to have a conversation about Amador Community College Foundation, and with me are board member Janis Davis. She's also a counselor at Amador High School. And we have Karen Dickerson. She's on the board, she's the board secretary. And her husband Wyman Dickerson, not on the board, but he might as well be. He does a lot of work for the Amador Community College Foundation. What we want to do is first talk about the history of the Amador Community College Foundation. Karen, do you have?
Yeah, the Amador Community College Foundation has been in existence for 20 to 25 years under different iterations. And so the current board started this latest endeavor about 5 years ago, and we received an earmark grant from the Department of Education, the United States Department of Education, and to research possible models for providing higher education in Amador County. And we spent a couple of years doing that and investigating all the possible alternatives that we could do. And we actually started with paying Cosumnes River College to send up students, to send up teachers to teach classes, about 5 or 6 classes a semester. But there was no real rhyme or reason to that, because it was just whichever teacher was available to teach. There was no scope and sequence to the classes. So you might get psychology one semester and the next semester have photography, and you may not be able to complete anything.
It wasn't goal-oriented.
Right,
at all.
not goal-oriented at all. And we were spending a lot of money, about $80,000 to $100,000 a year. So we looked for a more economical way to deliver education, and we went to the Community College Chancellor's office, and they gave us the idea to investigate distance education. And so with that, we came up with this model of the Amador Learning Center, where we're working with now 4 different community colleges in California to provide online and ITV classes in dozens of majors.
So what is ITV?
ITV is interactive television courses, and right now the ones that we are offering are through Folsom Lake College, and they're broadcast from Folsom Lake up here at the Amador Transit Center.
Okay, yeah. So is it like being in a classroom setting? I mean, can you see the teacher?
It's sort of like what we're doing right now.
Okay.
The teacher is broadcasting a class with TV cameras on him, and the class actually, there's a class sitting in front of him, but then there's satellite centers, and in our case, one satellite center is in Amador County, there's another one in El Dorado, and so all of these students can interact directly with the teacher. They can raise their hands. The teacher recognizes them on the television screen and talks to them directly.
Excellent.
So it's like sitting in the class remotely.
Good. So we're doing that through Folsom Lake College now. Are there other schools that we're thinking of expanding to with
Well,
that?
we're working on hooking up with Shasta College, because Shasta College has a very robust interactive television program, but we're just in initial conversations with them, so look for that in a year or so.
Good. Well, one of the things, I mean, people may have questions as to why don't we have a college here? Wyman, can you address that? Why we don't have an actual college where you drive to and go?
That probably has a long history, but to shorten the amount of time to try to explain, is it takes a lot of money to build a physical plant. If we had a physical plant here, we're probably talking maybe upwards to $50 million. But that's only one side of the issue. The other side of the issue is that the Chancellor's Office, Community Colleges of California, looks at your environment, Amador County, and says there's really not enough students here. They need 500 full-time equivalents, which is about 1,500 students, because not all of them take classes full-time. And that would be a dream, but I think we have to look at that and compare it to what we're doing online and actually say that online is probably how the future is going to be. Distance learning, we could even go so far as to holographic learning. Right now, Karen mentioned ITV, and you can see it's like, I call it Skype on steroids. But the actual physical plant here, it may or may not ever happen, but if we can educate the students that either can't afford, they don't have the access, whatever it may be, access is the key word, to drive to Folsom, to pay room and board. Room and board at Folsom right now, my understanding is room and board and the college education could cost a student, which usually means parents, $12,000 to $20,000 a year just for community college.
Right.
We can offer this the way we're doing our model as facilitators, is that it just costs the students $46 a unit.
Well, I would think also, like, let's say they did open up a college here and had a brick and mortar college, I think the offerings would be a lot lower than what we're getting now through the way that we're doing things now. I mean, there's a lot more offerings, a lot more AA degrees you could get, I would think, by doing it the way through multiple colleges. Because that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Yes.
And
Go
one
ahead.
of the things that I'd like to add to this is we looked at our neighboring county, who is part of the Delta Junior College District. And many of you probably know through reading the newspapers that they are in lawsuits with Delta Junior College because they've been paying on assessed values on their homes collectively $3 million a year for 10 years. And they were promised, if they entered the district, that a satellite campus would be built in their county. What turned out to happen is that the Delta College used their money and other money that they had collected from larger population centers in their district to build a satellite campus hundreds of miles away from their county. And so now they're trying to get out of that tax obligation by filing a lawsuit and disengaging from the community college district. And that is one of the things that our whole board looked at in this last 5 years when we were just doing the research is, first of all, do we want to burden our residents, our taxpayers, with this kind of an obligation, and then have the same experience
and get nothing for it. Wow.
And so what we chose to do was this model because we could get the most bang for our buck. We could get degrees and certificates at full comprehensive programs where students can earn them right here in Amador County, either through online education or through interactive television.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, let's talk about our model. I want to expand on that a little bit. So, which one of you want to answer that question? What you want to?
Are you asking how does the program work?
Yeah. How does the program work? Is it just one college we're working with? Is it multiple colleges?
Well, we started, Russ, we started working with Coastline Community College, which is one of the California community colleges in Southern California. We chose to partner with Coastline because they have a very robust and well-established distance education program.
Excellent.
So we have since started to expand, and we're now working with Foothill Community College in the Bay Area and Allen Hancock Community College down in Santa Maria, and chose those schools because we can do everything online with them and because they have some of the programs we're looking at. So students that want to attend those schools online can come into our center and receive help in every aspect of getting the class they want, everything from filling out their application to help with their assessment test, to actually do the test.
So they don't have to drive to Folsom to go get an assessment test.
No,
That's
we're doing
incredible.
the assessments right at the center.
That's incredible.
Everything's
That
done
saves a
right
lot.
in the center.
Yeah.
We should probably, let me interject on that too, is that actually they don't even have to drive to our center. So long as they have a broadband connection, they can do their distance learning at home or wherever they may be. And the reason we actually have a physical center is not only to provide the support of mentors and tutors and people to help them navigate the application process, but we also, at the center, we have broadband, we have laptops, we have pads, so in case somebody doesn't have the hardware, they have a place to come to use the hardware.
Excellent. Yeah, so they have the computers there, so they can use them if their computer at home's not working or they don't
Right.
have good broadband
Yes.
up there. That's excellent. So I remember Tom McClintock came and he talked, and he basically was saying, this is the future of education, what we're doing. And then you went to something through Long Beach State at Sacramento,
was,
and they were talking about that.
What has happened in the state of California is that Foothill De Anza over in the Bay Area started with $16.9 million, I think, and they get $10 million a year for 5 years. So let's just round it up to $66 million to introduce online education initiative called OEI. And they had a town hall meeting in Long Beach. Frank Lashinsky, a board member, and I went to
What we're
Sacramento.
going to need to do, let's hold
Okay.
that thought. We'll get back to that because that's real interesting, and it's amazing where things are going. So what we're going to do is take a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.
Welcome back to our discussion on Amador Community College Foundation. I need to apologize to Janis. I said she was a counselor at Amador High School. It's Argonaut. Sorry about that. So let's get back to what you were talking about.
What I was talking about, Russ, is OEI, and that's the online initiative, education initiative,
Right.
that is started with this $60 million over 5 years at Foothill De Anza College. And they have created a group which is kind of spearheading this project, which is going to take time, but they hope to do a few pilot community colleges starting this fall, and hope to actually roll it out by fall of 2015. How we heard about this was, through a newspaper and so forth, but then Frank Lashinsky, a board member, he and I went to the chancellor's office of the community colleges down in Sacramento and did the interactive TV with the town hall in Long Beach, where they're trying to find the pilot sites right now. We wanted to be a pilot, and of course
Right.
we're not
Big enough.
we're not a college.
Okay.
We're facilitators. And so, but we want to know what's going on there because I think they like our model, and they're charged with creating for the 183 community colleges in the state of California,
112.
112,
Still a lot.
yeah, online for all schools. The other thing they're trying to do is so that if you have a home school like Folsom Lake, but you get units from Delta, you get units from wherever, that they can all be combined.
Matriculate,
Right now,
yeah.
that doesn't happen.
Right.
So they have some challenges to do, but the whole thing is to shift away, in a sense, from brick and mortar to online, and this is looked at the California level.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense to do it that way. Kind of a side note, I have two sons, one at Virginia Tech and one at UCSD, and they're software engineering majors, and they've taken classes through Google EDX, and they're seeing that as the wave of the future, too. They don't get credits for it, but it's really helped them in their classes to kind of understand things better. But
I think one thing, even though we have a very small participation, 80-something students, we're probably looking at 100, and maybe by summertime, maybe
Yeah.
125 by fall even. But anecdotally right now, because we don't have all of the tracking put together, but MOCs, massive online courses, which may have a course that you might have 100,000 people are taking it. And this is worldwide. Anybody can take these courses. Their dropout rate is 96%. So only 4% completion rate. Whereas we look at our college right now, our dropout rate is running somewhere in the high 70s.
yeah.
So we, and we feel what
Can
we...
I correct that?
You can correct it. Maybe it's the high...
Our dropout rate is running in 20 to 30%.
Flip that over.
Okay.
Flip that over.
70% success rate.
Okay,
Right.
70% success.
We have a
30%
high
dropout.
success
Okay,
rate.
good.
I want to get that on the record.
Thank you. That was good.
And what I attribute it to, without really being an educator, are to the way it's been set up, and the mentors and the tutors and the cohort groups.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that right now. I was going to talk about that later, but let's talk about that right now. What about the mentoring program and the tutors, Karen? How's that working?
Well, I would like to defer to Janis
To
because
Janis on
she
that?
set up the program.
You set it up, okay?
Well, I guess I want to say, first of all the services at our center are free.
Okay.
So students can come in and get on the spot help from our coordinator, Michael Krikorian, during our hours, and we're open 20 hours a week. We have a mentoring program there to support the students, so if they need help with anything, whether it's filling out their application or prepping for an assessment test, they can come in and get help. They can drop in or make an appointment. We have a tutoring program. We have math tutors, English tutors. We are getting ready for the fall semesters to set up actual tutoring hours where students can either make an appointment or come in to the center, drop in, and get tutoring help with their classes. We proctor course exams. So if a student is taking an online class and they need an exam proctored, we set that up with
right there at
them,
the center.
and they do it right there. We had just added this last spring pre-assessment workshops because we were finding that some of our students were going in needing help on their assessments. And
Like a math assessment or English,
right,
yeah,
right.
that's good.
So tutoring to prepare them to take their assessments, we added
and
that.
that could save them a lot of time and money
It
by
actually-
passing the assessment test.
It can. They can start,
That's
if
great.
they score higher on their assessments, then they're naturally going to start at a higher level course than having to take remedial classes.
Yeah.
We also offer the assessment tests at the center. And Michael proctors those.
Right.
And then, of course, I already mentioned we have high-speed internet access with computer access for the students to use there.
That's excellent. Yeah, and the response has been really good, hasn't it, with the students?
It has.
They really like
It
that. Yeah,
has.
it's nice. There's a lot of support there, as opposed to just most online classes, you're all by yourself in your house, and you don't have anyone for help.
Well,
It's
and
very difficult.
the success rates of people doing distance education on their own they're very low because
Yeah.
it's very isolating. So having the center, the whole idea was to establish a support system for them. We're doing a cohort meeting right now with a group of students that are all in the same program, and they meet once a week. And as time goes on, we will establish cohort groups for other
That's great.
programs that
That's
students
excellent.
are
Good.
in together.
So the
And
center's
Janis-
been used.
All volunteer.
Yes, and everything,
Yeah. So the mentoring program and the tutoring program is all volunteer.
every single thing that happens is volunteer.
That's
We have one paid employee, Michael, who coordinates the center, and we're open 20 hours a week.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, well, let's talk about some advantages to the business community. Wyman, why don't you talk about that?
Well, I used to be a business person.
Right.
I've owned 4 pharmacies over my career, and here in Amador County, back in the 80s, I had Briscoe's Pharmacy downtown Jackson. And then from 81 to 93, I had Buckhorn Drugs up in Buckhorn. And after that, I worked for Safeway the rest of my career for 20 years. But this is the reason education is a passion of mine, not only because my wife was a teacher, my mother was a teacher, my dad, I have girls that are teachers, my daughters, so forth. But it has to do with economics. And I look at our county, the timber's gone,
Right.
a lot of other things are gone in the county, and we don't have the mid-range or high-paying jobs here. And unfortunately, we're stuck in a low tier because we have retail, and retail notoriously pays low. Every time we try to get somebody to come in, a business to come into the county that has higher paying jobs, from what I hear, is that they end up kind of going to El Dorado because El Dorado has a skilled workforce.
Right.
We don't, because we don't have a college. Usually the first or second question they ask is, do you have a college?
Right.
No.
And they don't come. They
Yeah.
don't come, yeah.
And it's very important for the future, especially the average age in 1980 was around 36 years old now, it's 46 years old. And we also are having some gentrification in the county, and so that further spreads the rich and the poor, and
Right.
the middle class kind of decline. So we really need some higher education in Amador County.
Right. Well, and then the jobs now, you need to have a different set of skills than you did 20 years ago.
And
You
the-
need to know how to use a computer. You need to
Yeah.
know how to speak well. There's a lot of things that we need here to help people to be able to get those jobs.
And I kind of
those skills.
say those skills are changing daily.
Yes, they are.
Jobs, the thing about the future is that the kids that are born today, I shouldn't even say that. Let's look at a 20-year-old today that may have a job that he started off in a career.
Exactly.
I think the saying goes that by the time they retire at approximately 65, they're going to be exposed to 6 to 9 different careers,
Right.
not different jobs, because their career that they had before is going to go away and be replaced by something else.
Right. Another part of the economics is the cost of going to college when you live up here a long ways away. So I kind of calculated this out. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a financial planner. And I was just kind of running the numbers, but if, let's say, you live in Pine Grove and you have to drive to Folsom 3 days a week, it's going to run you probably at least $200 a month just for gasoline for that. And then you're going to spend probably 3 to 4 hours a day on the road getting there. That's eating up your time. But if you had a school up here like we have now, where you can actually go online, do it from home, it's going to free up a lot of time, and it's going to allow mothers, single mothers, to kind of go to school, people that have a job that want to better themselves, to be able to go to school without having to take time off. I just think there's a lot of advantages to it, a lot less travel time.
Very much agreed. My last few years working with Safeway, which was actually 19 years, most of mine was remote work, even though it really didn't get to the Skype phase till later in that 19 years. But my home office was my office instead of going to Pleasanton all the time for meetings. Didn't have to.
Right. Yeah, just doing it online.
Russ, I think the other thing that's important for the audience to know is there is financial aid available.
That's excellent.
This program, since it's run through the community colleges, the classes are, students can apply for financial aid using the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA,
Yeah.
and a Board of Governors fee waiver. So it's quite possible they would have their fees waived.
Right.
So it's very affordable, and there is help at the center to help them with their financial aid applications as
Yeah.
well.
So, like, taking a semester using the Amador Community College Foundation campuses and doing it that way, you could do a semester's of work just, not counting the books, but it's like $552 a semester, approximately.
Right. for
Plus books, maybe
fees.
another 500. That's way better than, paying all these fees, either to go into CSU, at least for the first 2 years.
And a
So-
person can start part-time. They don't
Yeah.
have to take a full load of classes.
Right.
The whole point is just to get started.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, in the next segment, some of the programs offered through these colleges.
Okay.
And there's a lot of them. So we'll be back in about 3 minutes. See you then.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.
Welcome back to our conversation about Amador Community College. What we're going to talk about now is I'm going to talk with Janis about the cost savings versus going 4 years to a Cal State University system. So can you tell me about the cost that it costs a typical student to go to, let's say, Chico State?
Well, right now it's running about $26,000 a year, a room, board, everything included, to attend a CSU campus. University of California campuses are running about $32,000 a year right now. So students that have a goal of getting their degree from a CSU, California State University, or a UC campus can complete an online transfer program through this program and be right on track to enter a CSU or UC campus at the end of their 60 units.
Wow. So it's a pretty easy transition over. You just, once you have your 60 units, you put in to transfer to the college of your choice. And
Right,
in
and
any-
it's, students have to follow a pattern, and
Right.
we recommend they work with a college counselor. That is one of the things we don't do at the center. They meet with a college counselor, and we recommend every semester via phone and update their educational plan so they know that they're on track for what they want to do.
So that would be like Coastline. So if
Yes.
they're taking their classes through Coastline, they would call the counselor at Coastline, and they're available to them.
Right, they make a counseling appointment
Right.
for via phone, and they speak to the counselor, and they set up their educational plan and tell them, which courses they need to take each semester, and then they should go back in each semester and double check to make sure they know what they're doing.
Excellent. Excellent.
For the CSU campuses, however, they do have a public speaking class requirement as part of their transfer requirement, and that is the one thing that we're not in a spot yet to offer our students. So some of them will have to take that class on a physical campus at some point, like Folsom Lake.
or something like that.
But we hope to have that available in the future in an ITV format.
Excellent. Excellent. Carol, what are some of the degrees and certificates that are offered right now through our colleges?
Well, they all offer a variety of degrees and certificates, and on our website, which is www.amadorcommunitycollege.org, is a list. On the first page it says click here for the list, and the list
Wow.
is 2 pages long. But I'd like to highlight some of the degrees offered because they range, and certificates. They all have, a certificate is a technical competence, and it's 12 to 18 units. A degree is generally 60 units. And the majors, or the areas of emphasis in these certificates and degrees, are very similar. So you can start and get a certificate, and then perhaps start working in your field of expertise, and then continue with your education to go and get a degree, and then perhaps to transfer, as
Okay.
Janis was talking about. But some of the kinds of ones that we're offering are typical. There's the typical English, math, science
Right.
majors, but there's some interesting ones too that range from medical coding, entrepreneurship and small business, fire technology, web design, graphic design, music technology, health and fitness,
That list is
business
huge.
administration. It really is more than I can talk about right now, and more than you could see on
Yeah.
paper.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah.
Full.
And again, you can get it on the website.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I know my wife is getting her degree in gerontology and then getting it all online. Not
Through
too many
our
people
program.
through your program.
Yes, and we're
and
pleased to
not
say.
too many people know what it is, but she's getting one. So,
And
but
Russ, the reason we added Allen Hancock as one of the schools we want to work with is because they have a completely online fire technology program, and we're
excellent.
very excited about that because there's a lot of people in our area that are interested in fire technology. So they can get a certificate or a degree in fire technology. And they eventually, if wanted to go down to that campus in Santa Maria, they have a fire academy on site as well.
so they can maybe get on with CDF or CAL FIRE now, or a local fire
Exactly,
department.
exactly.
That's excellent. So, who are some of the ideal students? Is it just students getting out of high school doing this, or
Everybody you can imagine.
really?
We have some students that choose to take a class while they're maybe a senior in high school online. We have students who are graduating this year that are going to enter this program. We have all ages of people, all walks of life, all interests out there. It's very diverse.
So
Yeah.
our students range from, as she said, high school graduates to people wanting to retrain in their careers,
Right.
or people that have been unemployed and they want to seek a marketable career and
skills,
certificate and other skills.
Yeah.
What's really nice is where we're located, we have Motherlode Job Connection in our same office
Oh,
space.
that's convenient.
So, and we are working very closely with
Yeah.
them so that our students can, when they come to our offices to enroll and register in classes, they can also talk to Mother Lode Job Connection about the kinds of jobs that would be available in this area, and then therefore decide based on their interests, maybe on some of these programs that we offer, so that they can go right from school to a job.
That's excellent. I know we have a special program right now. It's the MHSA program, and explain that one a little bit.
Well, that is through the Mental Health Services Act, and we are in partner with the Amador County Behavioral Health Department. They came to us and they said, we will provide you scholarships
Wow.
for students, and we have $18,000 in scholarships per year available for students to participate in this program, and it will fully pay for their participation in the Human Services Certificate and Degree program that's offered through Coastline that's available at our Learning Center. And so this costs all the fees, all the books, and all the
So it
tuition
takes care of everything.
for those students.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful opportunity. There's two criteria that they need to
Right.
apply. They get priority for the scholarship and being in this program if they are a mental health consumer themselves, or if they have a family member that's a mental health consumer. The other priority is a low income. And we have about 13 students
Really participating
at this point in this program, and
That's excellent.
a couple of them, because this is our first year of operation, will receive their certificate at the end of this summer, and we're very excited to
exciting.
celebrate that.
I know we're going to have a guest in the next segment, Kelsey, and she's part of that program, and we'll talk to her about that a little bit
Okay.
too. So where is the center located?
We have two centers, and the ITV Center is at the Amador County Transit Commission.
In Sutter Creek?
In Sutter Creek,
Yeah,
at
up on-
117 Valley View Road.
Okay.
And that's where we have the state-of-the-art teleconference, video conferencing facility that accommodates interactive television.
That was set up by Volcano, right? Frank Lashinsky and Volcano helped set that up?
I'm not sure. I'm
You
not
don't know?
sure about
Okay.
that.
All right.
Then the main center where most students go, where all students have to go to register and enroll and participate in the program, is at the Health and Human Services Building at 10877 Conductor Boulevard.
So that's on where 88 and Ridge Road meet, down on the way to Ione from Sutter Creek,
Yes.
down there.
Close to that.
Yeah,
And Suite 700.
And
Suite
Suite 700, that's right. Thank you.
excellent. So how are we funded?
Well, right now, we're funded through a lot of hard work from the board.
Yeah.
We have fundraising events. Every year we've done Bunsen to Beaker, which is the 5K race in the spring, and then in which we just raised about $5,000 there. It takes about $50,000 a year at our current rate of operation. Of course, we want to expand and offer more opportunities for more students. But our big function is the gala, and last year was our first endeavor, and it was Going Gatsby,
Yeah.
and we raised $22,000.
That was excellent. I went to that, and that was incredible.
And this year, it's going to be a night in Paris.
So Wyman, you want to talk about that a little bit? You wanted to talk about the gala?
I
Well-
also wanted to mention that there's a lot of local donors that
Yes, they do.
have donated their
Right.
time and money through the gala to support our cause.
Yeah. This year, A Night in Paris will be held at the casino, and it's going to be November the 15th, before I forget. So it's kind of a save the date, November the
Right.
15th, and we're going to have save the date going out, cards going out shortly. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be, again, a lot of work. The rewards we hope this year are going to be even more than last year.
Sure was a lot of fun last year, though. It was a great event.
A lot of fun. We invite everybody to come.
Yeah. And kind of where are we going? Where do you see us in 5 years? Need a... Anyone?
Certainly, probably will have a lot more students enrolled. I mean, they came in faster than we were expecting, having not even been open for 1 year yet. We're hoping to increase our ITV program to offer more opportunities for students to take classes.
Okay.
And
I think we're looking for sustainable funding also.
That's good. Well, I guess one of the things we could do as a financial planner, I mean, maybe getting endowments or people to donate, put us in their trust or will would be a good way to do it if people want to look for. We're going to close now for this segment. We have one more segment left, and hope to see you back then.
Thanks, Rick.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. TSPN.
Welcome back. With me again is Janis, and we have Kelsey with us, and she's a student at our college. And tell me a little bit about the program that you're in right now.
I'm currently going through the scholarship program that you guys mentioned earlier. I'm going for my human services degree, and it's wonderful. Like you were saying, I live up in Pioneer, and I would not be able to make that commute to Folsom as often as I would need to in order to go somewhere else. So having me online and doing this all from home is just absolutely wonderful for me.
That's excellent. And then how'd you hear about the program?
I heard about it through my mother. She works through the local community action agency, and she's also taking courses there for accounting to further her education.
Good for her.
And so, I heard about the opportunity, and I thought this would fit me just right.
And the price is really nice, too.
Oh, yes,
That's
very.
excellent. That's excellent. So do you want to do something in the human services field?
Yes, I do. I eventually want to become a social worker for it.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So what classes have you had so far?
So far, I've taken a counseling course. This semester, I'm taking 3 classes, and I'm taking a child development, a crisis intervention, and an introduction to human
Boy,
services.
that's a pretty full load right there.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty interesting. So tell me, how do the classes work? Do you have to do papers? Do you take tests? What do you do?
It's basically just like if you're actually to go to a college, you just do it at home, and you have to be very self-motivating in order to do this. But I do term papers, I do quizzes, I do discussion forums, which is what I love the most because I still get to communicate with my other classmates. But it's just
So you're
it's just
getting
online.
feedback. You
Yes, I
get
am.
feedback. I know my
Yeah.
wife has taken a few classes, and that's what she really likes it. She likes the feedback that she gets from other students and everything. And does your mom like it?
She does. She absolutely loves it.
So the accounting, how does that work? Do you know how that works for her? I mean, does she have like problems? I mean, how does that work? Something like accounting.
With her classes, I don't know too much about it, but
Right.
from what I've seen, it's very similar to mine, except sometimes a certain class they'll have you go to a different website and they'll have like worksheets and things for you to do that way.
Right. So now you have a group that you meet with once a week.
I do.
How did that come about?
Well, I check my emails first thing every morning just to make
Right.
sure I don't miss anything
Right.
important from my teachers.
Right.
But I had an email from Michael who works at the center.
Right.
And he was saying, well, we want to try this out and just have a study group with people who are in the same program
Right.
as you. So we all met on a
That's
Tuesday
amazing.
night.
So are you doing that pretty consistently then? Every Tuesday night
Every
you
week,
meet?
yeah.
Oh, good. So you kind of just discuss everything
Discuss things.
that's going
If I have
on.
a question or if I'm not understanding something, someone else usually
Right.
has a better grasp of it than I do.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
So when do you think you'll be finished with your certificate?
I'm hoping by the fall semester will be my final.
That's excellent. So when you're done, I mean, do you think you'll be able to get a job pretty quickly?
I think so. In my spare time, I'm looking at I cannot think of the word of it, but basically just places I can volunteer first because
Right.
you not only do you need the education, you also need hours.
Like an internship type
internship,
thing?
yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Well, that's good. And what about your experience with students that you've told about this? I mean, are they excited about it?
Yes, yes. We have several students in the program who started last year after
Right.
they graduated from high school, and they've done very well. They've enjoyed their classes. I know they've been in using the services at the center. So I think they're having a good experience with it. I think some of the issues that have come up, the math has been for some difficult, and so we've had a couple really good math tutors working with our students. That's been very helpful. I also think just learning to navigate the whole course management system with Coastline, I think it's called Blackboard, I believe.
I think I just called it
Or
dashboard.
Dashboard, Blackboard,
Yeah, right.
Seaport, whatever
Right.
it is.
Yeah, Seaport.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's been kind of difficult for some students, so our mentors are there. If a student wants to come in and get help, we're actually considering having a workshop for students who would like to come in and get some individual or group assistance with course
It's
management
like a whole
system.
new world, though. It's totally
Yes.
different than what they've done before, but I think in a ways it kind of prepares people for the online world that we live in. I mean, when you start working for an organization, a lot of stuff's done online now.
Exactly,
You
and I
know?
don't think students need to be afraid of
Right.
the computer. We have some of our students who are not just out of high school, they've been out for a while and maybe aren't real familiar with computer use, and so that's part of it too. They're going to learn all those skills, and there's going to be help for them if they want to learn how to navigate all the computer stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, the world that well, not unfortunately, but the world that we live in now, if you don't have computer skills, it's really difficult to get a job unless you
It
want to
is.
be a lumberjack somewhere.
It
I
is.
mean, out in the woods and not
Well,
dealing with
sometimes even
technology
running
at
that
all.
machinery
Sometimes,
is
that's right, yeah.
computerized.
Yeah. So now, how many students are in your group?
Usually it can range from about, I think the lowest I've seen there is about 5.
Okay.
But the largest has been about 10 to 20.
And they're all on
15.
track, and they're all liking it?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had any trouble getting classes at all?
I think just my first semester, because I didn't have priority, I just had troubles getting into one class, but it was
Right.
just like it was an elective class.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of people were trying to get that one.
Right,
So.
right. And then your assessment, how did that go? Did you have to have assessments before you took some classes?
This semester I've had to have assessments just so I can maintain my priority in there.
Okay, and then how did that work out with the center?
It worked out really well. They actually have classes that are like little workshops that you can take. So if you're not too sharp on the things anymore, you can get like a refresher and everything,
Right.
and then you can just set up an appointment to take your assessment
So you get
test.
to practice, they kind of say, here's what the
Yeah.
assessment is. That's really
Because
important.
they want to make sure that you
Right.
get in as high as you can, that you're
Right.
comfortable with.
Right, I know if you, like we talked about this earlier, but if you miss a class and you have to take more of a remedial class, I mean, that's like a waste of a whole semester. And
Time and money.
time and
Yeah.
money.
Pay for the
Yeah.
remedial
Yeah.
classes in some
So,
cases.
kind of a personal question here. So if you were to do this and you had to drive from Pioneer to Folsom, I mean, would it be something that you would have done?
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
It's pretty amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice having that resource here, and I know we've been working on this for a long time. Any tips for people considering going to the school?
If you're taking more than one class, definitely get a planner and write down when all of your assignments are, when your appointments are, when you have study group, because sometimes life gets a little crazy and you're like, oh, I had study group tonight, didn't I?
It's all about
That's-
time management.
Yeah, that's huge. I know I have one son who's really bad at time management. He's been in school for 5 years, and he still has issues with that. And we go, write it down, put it in there. But yeah, when you're like bombarded with a lot of stuff to do and things due at the same time.
Yeah, like I have a written calendar, I have one on my phone, I have one on my refrigerator,
Good.
so I do
Good.
not miss anything.
Yeah. Well, I know in the online classes, you have assignments due at certain times also, and you have to take the tests at certain times. And juggling
Yeah.
that would be
Yes,
difficult.
this week is actually finals week for me,
Yeah.
so it's kind of me trying to figure out, okay, this final is due this day, so I'm going to need at least 2 days to study for that. Luckily, none of my finals are scheduled for the same day,
Right.
so I've been pretty fortunate in that.
Yeah, that would be, time management is huge, and you need to have the willpower to do it too, because
Yes.
sometimes it's easy to just blow it off and do something else.
Yeah.
So has the mentoring, the people at the center mentoring, have they helped you with this sort of thing
I
at all?
personally have not used the mentoring.
You haven't used the mentoring
no.
system at all, you haven't
No.
neither
I
did.
think her mother is.
Yeah, their mother's
Yeah.
kind of like a mentor.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's been helping me out a lot.
She has been.
Yeah.
think-
So the age ranges, so you said you have students in high school that are actually taking classes through
It's
the foundation right now?
It's possible, yes,
Oh.
they can do that.
Have any done it yet, do you know? Do we have statistics on that?
I don't,
Okay.
I don't.
And then I know we have some students in their 50s taking classes,
Absolutely.
and I like what you said, we're saying it kind of helps them get the skills of working with computers and kind
Right.
of being in part of this age.
Right, and not to be afraid of it if they're not really computer literate, because there's going to be people there
Yeah.
to help.
It's amazing to me. I have clients come in, and I go, okay, well, we need an email for you. And I go, I don't have a computer. And I go, you're kidding me. And they don't have a computer, and they don't have email, and I don't know how they do it without it.
There's a couple of classes also that Coastline offers that we recommend students take. One, I think you mentioned, was a Counseling 105, and how to be successful in college. They also, and that's a 3-unit class. They also have two 1-unit classes that gives students help on actually how to navigate the course management system and how to be successful in distance ed.
Yeah, and it's a totally different way of learning, but like once you get the discipline to do it, like it seems like you're doing, it's not that difficult to do. You just have to have the willpower and the discipline and use the tools that they have available.
Yeah.
I think in summation, I mean, it's pretty amazing that we do have this resource here in Amador County.
Yeah.
Have you told your friends about it?
I have, and I get so excited when I get to tell people that I'm in college,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, where are you?" I'm like, "Well, I do online learning through the county. It's great. You should really look into it." So
Yeah, and how do they respond?
they think it's cool, especially especially my friends that go to Folsom, or when they're traveling a lot, they wish that they would have known about it
Right.
before they signed up for their courses.
Yeah, I wish this would have been available 5 years ago. We sent our son to Sierra College, and he lived in the dorms there, and it cost us a lot of money. And this would have been so much easier and better, but oh well, you just have to live with what you have. So
I think the other thing too is those students that are going to Folsom, we're trying to increase our ITV program, so they should always look in the class schedule for the Amador Center, where they can actually take maybe one of their classes up here
Right.
and save a day of
Yeah.
driving.
yeah, and then those people who want to like improve their skills and maybe take 1 or 2 classes and just kind of check it out. I mean, the cost is great. I guess we're going to be closing now, and I think the thing to take from this is to understand that there's this great valuable resource available to Amador County that hasn't been here, and you should check it out. You can go to our website, and if you know anyone who's taken classes, talk to them. And if you feel like you want to donate to a great cause, this is a great cause to give to. So again, I want to thank you for joining us and thank all my guests. Thank you.
Experience the great outdoors of the High Sierra Historic Plazas Resort, tent and RV camping, boat